Hi, Patriots Colony. Welcome to Tai Chi Chin and Qigong with me. My name is Stan Rockwell. Start off by getting our posture, our balance, and our breathing. Feet about shoulder width apart, as parallel as you can get them. Remember to take care of your knees. You want to always have some bend in your knees. So don't lock your knees ever. You keep some softness there. And also your hips. So if you have to have your toes out a little bit, that's okay too. And you start to sink down into it, trying to get yourself evenly balanced on all sides, left, right, front, back, and to the corner. And you can do that by rocking around just a little bit. And once you feel settled down in the middle, you want to make sure you feel yourself fully connected to the floor, through the floor, to the earth. You have bubbling wells, acupressure points in the center of each forefoot. And you can visualize an energetic connection there, a magnetic. Visualize yourself rooting into the earth just like a very strong tree with very deep, solid roots that keep you upright. Then you connect yourself upwards. Once you're grounded to the earth, you use an energetic connection or a line attached to the ba wei or the crown chakra, crown of your head. Pulls you straight up. As it does, it lifts the back of your head and tucks your chin in a little bit and starts to make adjustments to your body. Stretches you upwards, makes you taller. Starts improving your balance and getting you in harmony with gravity, so you're not having to do extra work to stay upright, which also decreases pain. Your tailbone drops a little bit, your hips move back a little bit, the tops of your hips become parallel to the floor, the tops of your shoulders become parallel to the floor. An imaginary line across your eyes and ears is parallel to the floor, and as the back of your head rises and your chin tucks in, it moves your head back just a little bit so that your head gets nice and balanced on your shoulders. So if you were to drop a line from that ba wei straight down through the middle of your body, through the perineum, it would hit the floor right in the middle of what we call our foundation. And our foundation is a line we visualize around the outsides of our feet, and everything inside that rectangle is our foundation. And we always want to be centered over it. Right now it's a rectangle, but if I do it like this, it's more of a sort of a triangle. And if I put all my weight in one foot, it's that line right around that foot, and I'm staying centered over that foot. Also, if you were to drop a line from your earlobe, it would go through the center of your shoulder, the center of your hip, the center of your ankle. So you know there's some bend in your knees. It has to be able to do that. Once you're in harmony with gravity, you can focus on your breathing, and when you're not all slouched over or not pulled back, stretching everything, you can breathe in a more efficient way. There's less pressure on your internal organs. So you breathe in through your nose down to your diaphragm. What we're aiming for is an abdominal breath right around hip level. So when you inhale, you feel that expansion pulling the diaphragm down. You breathe in through your nose, touching the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, just behind your front teeth. And on the exhale, you pull the pelvic floor up to move as much air out as you can. And if you want to breathe out through your mouth, you just release the tongue and sigh. Ah. With that sound, you let whatever tightness is inside, whatever tension is inside, just relax and flow out. So just relax. Breathe at your own pace, making the inhale last a little bit shorter time than the exhale. So if you inhale on a count of 5, you exhale on a count of 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, you stay in your comfort zone for that too. It's 70% of whatever you're capable of at this moment, and that includes the inhale. You don't try to breathe in as deeply as you can. So just breathe. If you feel any tightness or tension around the top of your head, your forehead, your eyes, your ears, your jaw, your mouth, just breathe into it and let it soften. If there's any tightness around your neck, your shoulders, Down your arms and your wrists and hands and fingers, just let it soften. Your chest, your stomach, your back. Any tightness anywhere, just let it soften. Into your hips, down your legs, your ankles, your feet, your toes. If there's any tightness anywhere, just let it soften. And relax. And breathe. Start off working at the top and working your way down, so just let your arms float up with your palms facing. Turn your hands towards your face. As you press in, drop your elbows a little bit. You usually push your head back just a bit to feel some movement in your neck. Then you press out and you let your arms extend outwards, all the joints expand outwards. And then the hands come back down. You tuck your chin just a bit. It's an inhale up and an exhale and an inhale and an exhale. One more. Come back to the center. Arms come up. One hand drops down, palm towards the floor, other arm folds over. Palm and the forehead line up. You want to keep that line intact as you turn your head and your arm to the side, 70% of your range of motion to get some movement in your neck. You come back to the center as you inhale, and you do the same thing to the other side as you exhale. And we'll do a couple more on each side. And back to the center. Just let your head turn to one side, drop your chin, let it roll across the bottom, back straight across the center line. It's an exhale and an inhale. And then just reverse. And then we'll do forward shoulder rolls. Remember, if you have issues with your shoulders, you just turn your hands so your palms are facing behind you and make the circles with your elbows. And then reverse. And then we'll just let our arms float up with palms facing down, and then they turn to face up, and then you just press down. It's an inhale and an exhale. And let your arms come up till they're about shoulder high. Turn your hands so their fingertips are facing upwards. You have right angles at your elbows. You bring your arms in so your palms and forearms touch. If that causes you problems, just relax your elbows out. We want to bring your arms back to open the upper chest, and then bring them together to open the upper back. So it's an inhale and an exhale. And then you bring your hands out. And for the elbows, it's extending those arms out so you feel everything stretch out. Hands come back towards your shoulders, but not all the way because you don't fully compress the joint either. It's an exhale out and an inhale back. And then pause when your fingers are pointed straight up. Let your hands tilt towards and away from you. And then towards and away from each other. And then circles one way. Circles the other way. Bring your hands together and clasp your fingers and just make circles one way. Circles the other way. And then hold the ball and then keeping your palms facing, just like you're rolling that ball around. And then just kind of shake your hands out. Again, stay in your comfort zone. You can just shake them a little bit. You bring your hands about waist high, fingertips facing, and on the inhale, you expand all the joints in your fingers, your hands, your wrists, and on the exhale, they just relax back to where they started. So it's an inhale and an exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. And then over the ball. Lower hand's going to rotate up, upper hand's going to press down. As the upper lower hand goes and presses up, you come back to the center as you inhale and then exhale. Bring your hands back to the center. Rotate on that center axis till your hands line up with the hip on whichever side where the hand is on top. Remember, you only rotate from the hips up, everything from the hips down stays still. Turn the hands around and you come back to the hip on the other side. You synchronize your breathing so you're inhaling in one direction and exhaling in the other. Back to the center, hands go out to the side. All your other foot you can just reach out and touch. Comes back. Other side. Hands come down, shift your weight over, hands go back but you stay perpendicular over your foot because all your weight's in this foot, and then foot goes back, hands go forward, hands are counterbalancing the foot. It's just to get the forward and back motion in your hips. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And then toes towards the corner, just like in the sun style we do. Fists at your hips, shift your weight over. One foot goes forward, the opposite hand punches out to counterbalance. It's an exhale and an inhale. For the ankles, shift your weight to one foot. First do heel and toe on one side. Same thing other side. And then pick a spot on the floor, outside, inside the foot, touch the same spot. Same thing on the other side. Shift your weight over and then first make circles one way. And the other way. Being very gentle with your ankles, knees, and hips. Same thing other side. And the other way. Come back to the center. Shift your weight from one side to the other. Keeping yourself perpendicular to the floor, so if you visualize the way a pendulum hanging down, when you're in the middle, that pendulum hits right in the middle of your foundation. When you shift your weight to this side, it swings over and hits in the middle of this foot. Same thing on this side, and it never goes outside that foundation. So you're keeping your center over your foundation, so you're staying nice and balanced. You get all your weight in one foot, you just let the other foot float up a little bit. If you need to keep your toe on the floor, that's okay, or your forefoot on the floor. but you just relax into it. Same thing on the other side. Some folks will point their index fingers at the floor to help them feel connected or grounded. You can try different things. Some folks point the little finger and index finger, all their fingers. Some people just curl their fingers in, whatever feels best for you. This time your knee floats up. You can also put your hand on a chair or a wall, whatever works. And the same thing on the other side. This time your heel's going to come up. Other side. And then just drop your hand on your thigh. And we're going to do a little bit of walking. We're going to get back. If you're where there's not a whole lot of space, you can do it in place. What we want to do, shift your weight into one foot so you can feel the empty foot release. The heel comes up, the toe comes up. It goes straight ahead like you're walking on railroad tracks. It comes down. It seals to the floor as you shift your weight into it. When this foot is fully, the front foot is fully connected, then you can let go with the back foot. And it's an inhale as you come up and an exhale as it comes down. Slowly or as quickly as you want, doing it slowly. Makes you work on your balance just a little bit more. Be sure to pick your foot up completely off the ground. You don't want to drag it, but if that's where you are right now, that's okay. Shift your weight back, comes up, step straight back, and if you don't want to walk backwards, just turn around and go straight back. You can also make the steps as long or as short as you want. Don't make them too long. You can also throw your balance off. Go back to the center. And just relax, and we'll do a swing for a little bit. And shift your weight from one side. And then it's tapping just inside the shoulder on the hollow, kind of at the end of your collarbone, just below it. It's acupressure point. Base of the rib cage. And just inside the hip. Inguinal crease or your quad. Lower dantian, just below your belly button. And then just swing. Come back to center and loosen up that lower back. Back to center. We've been practicing sun style for a while. Let's try just a little bit of yang. And the footwork is different. If you remember sun style, it's step up, follow step, step back, follow step. You can do sun style Tai Chi walking in place. And there's also that part where you Walk with your feet at 45-degree angles, and you can walk in a circle doing that. That's what it comes from, a form, a family. It's a whole other kind of internal martial art called Bagwajang, or 8 trigrams palm, and they do circle walk. And Sun Wukong. Wow. But for young style, just get yourself nice and centered. Shift all your weight into one foot. Lift the toes on the unweighted foot. Rotate on the heel till the foot goes out to 45 degrees. Shift your weight into that foot. Other heel on the empty foot comes up, and you bring that foot in. Toe steps near your instep, or what's called the T-step. You bring it up, even with where it was, toes straight ahead. Then you shift your weight into it. So now you're in an archer stance, or a bow and arrow, or a bow stance. Knees are behind your toes. Shift your weight back. Toe comes up. Kind of swing it around a little bit and bring it up. But again, do whatever feels most comfortable for you. Again, you don't have to step very far. You do want to be sure you keep the knees lined up with the toes and the knees behind the toes. You don't want to press your knee way up. Step back a little bit so you can hopefully see that foot in the front. Right now, most of my weight's in the front foot, about 70%, 60 to 80%. And I just shift my weight into the back foot. So this is a forward bow stance. This is a reverse bow stance. Reverse bow stance, most of your weight's in your back leg. So front, reverse. And when I want to go backwards, go into a reverse bow stance. So there's not a whole lot of weight in the front foot. I can just let the toe bring it in for a T-step. Step out and back, and then back foot comes down. It's at 45 degrees, toes towards the corner. I shift my weight into it. I want to have my front foot with the toes straight ahead, so I just adjust it like that. So step in, out, back. If you have issues with your hips where stepping out and back is a problem, back and you come down and your heels are more or less lined up like that, you rotate on the forefoot so you still have that space between your feet. And that's really important because if you keep stepping straight back, sooner or later your feet cross and you fall over, and you don't want to do that. So we're going to do a really simple short version of Yang style. And we'll work our way through it. Let's start by bringing the feet a little bit closer together. There's still some space. Some people start with their feet right together. To me, that closes your quad. It closes your groin, and you want to keep that some space there, space on your arms so you don't press your arms in either. Your arms are just hanging by your side. You shift your weight into right foot. Left foot comes up and steps out. Toe touches, heel touches. When the heel touches, the arms rotate so the palms are facing behind you. So the very first movement is just a step to the side, rotating the arms, and they immediately start to float up. Your fingertips drooping down, and then they start to come back down. And there's a little bit of a bend in your knees, your hips go back a little bit, so there's a little bit of a rising and falling in this, just like kind of a wave going up and down. This is commencement form, but it's also sometimes called opening the door or qi shi in Chinese. And this is a movement my teacher's teacher had to practice for several hours a day for many weeks before his teacher would allow him to move on to the next movement. Sort of like you have a piano teacher who says you have to get the scale done in a skillful way before you can move on to the next one. And we're not going to do that, but I will say, you know how we talk about feeling so it took me a while. And the first time it happened was just doing this. And then I knew I was getting the hang of it. The next movement in 9 form or 24 form is called Parting the Wild Horse's Mane. We're going to do it straight ahead, because if I do it to the side, well, I'll show it to you from the side, but it's we have mirrors here. If I turn around so the right and the left match up, it'll be really hard to see. So we'll start off with opening the door, arms come up, they come down. Shift your weight into your left foot, so you're not going to be mirroring me, you're going to be doing the opposite. So your right foot can go out to 45 degrees, and shift your weight into that foot, and your left hand takes your left foot over for a T-step, and you're holding a ball. Right hand goes up like you're going to grab something. Foot swings out and around. So you shift your weight, hands cross. And if you do this in front of a mirror, one hand's out at the side, and there's a bend in the wrist to activate that acupressure point. Palm of the left hand's going to be covering your shoulder. So it's not out here, although you sometimes see it taught with bringing your arm all the way out here. But when you do it like this, one, you activate an acupressure point, that lung acupressure point, when you cross your arm across your body like that. You also line up gun point with the acupressure point on the other side. And there's a couple ways of crossing your hands. You can have your palms cross. And that was the way I was taught for a long time. And then I had a teacher who said, bring your hand down past your wrist, because you have a really big acupressure point in your wrist. And I typically feel a whole lot more tingling when I do it that way. So, get nice and centered. Step out left. Open the door. Come down. Now if we're doing it, turn around. Since you could see the hands, now we can do it so you can see the left and the right. Shift your weight into your right foot. Your left foot goes out. Hands float up and down. When they get almost waist high, shift your weight, let your hands go out a little bit so you can turn on that heel. You come around and you hold the ball. It comes in for the T-step. Step up. And that's part of the wild horse's mane. So we're going to do that 3 times. So we're here. You shift your weight back, that front foot toe comes up. Hand in the front and upper hand goes palm down and almost palm out. Takes that foot out to 45 degrees. As you shift your weight into it, lower hand scoops that foot up, brings it up so you hold the ball again. Upper hand goes out to grab. Step up. And even though we don't use this for martial arts, it helps to know, I think, what the purpose is. I mean, we've said the health part of lining up acupressure points and engaging energy or chi. It's grabbing an arm, sweeping behind the legs, and coming up to either trip and push the person over, or you just come in for a shoulder and a strike. Teaching this stuff, you imagine yourself with an opponent the same size as you. I focus more on trying to improve skill with the movements. So let's try it one more time. Shift your weight, step, arms, rotates the palms back, up, down. Shift your weight left, adjust that right foot to 45 degrees, T-step. 1, 2, 3. And we're just about out of time, so we'll pick up there next time. Get yourself nice and centered and relax. up on your toes as you inhale. And then exhale, just let everything soften. Inhale as you tense everything up. Exhale, let everything soften. One more. Loosen up your legs a little bit. And then inhale up and exhale down. Thanks for joining me. Stay safe, healthy, and well. And I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.